Okay, let's talk about something that has come up a couple times since the bridge video. First of all, I mentioned Frank's kid watching TV. In this position, you're comfortable, your body's relaxed, and probably stay like this all day. If I take this and measure the ground to my clavicle, I'm getting 8.5 inches. If I measure 8.5 inches to where it goes on my buttstock, it's right here. You can see that the chassis is pointing down. So what I'm going to do is extend it until it is about where it needs to be. Let's say that's horizontal, and we got 8.5 inches is horizontal. So I'm watching TV. Now I've got these bipods, they're metal. There's not even a rifle in this, so this thing is ridiculously light. I'm gonna come up to do the bridge. I index my chin, and I come down, index, and come down. I'm not sliding, I'm talking, so it's moving, and it falls out. Up, slide. I've got forward pressure to hold this, but I'm not pushing it forward and then having it fall out. To me, this is the appropriate height. Then we check length of pull. So this would be my prone bipod setting. Length of pull, my arm is less than 90 degrees. And if I run the bolt, I'm going to put my hand on like I shoot. I would run it up, pull it back even more, come forward and down. So this tells me that my length of pull on this is too short, but I can't adjust it. Some chassis and stocks, you can't adjust the length of pull. But the length of pull means I got to be able to manipulate that bolt around 90, but not inside of 90 is too short. Now, if you do a standard length of pull test, put it in here and you look for your trigger, my finger is hitting the trigger guard, which also validates that the length of pull is a little bit short. With this, it is what it is because I can't change it. Nevertheless, this would be an anatomically correct prone height for me. Now, I'm doing the kid watching TV. I'm comfortable, my body's relaxed. I'm not doing anything unusual. Let's say I wanted to be shorter, so I'm going to stick this forward. My torso angle is dropping, making it harder for me to keep a connection because I'm dropping down. And also, I have to smush my body down past that normal. And when I do this, I feel my back muscles engaging because I'm pushing down, but I'm also off the ground, and I have to tilt my neck back even more. I got bolts in my neck too. If I go lower, I have to smush my body down, and I have to crane my neck, and at some point, I can't crane my neck up, or my head up enough to be able to look straight, and that's a lot of tension. But in this position, I could stay here, relaxed, all day, and it's defined from my kid watching TV pose. And we determined that by measuring my clavicle and then adjusting my bipods, indexing, and then bridging and holding the pressure that's just enough where I can manage recoil, but my head is pointing straight, my body's not doing anything unusual, and actually this has the least amount of muscular tension in anything. But we did establish that the length of pull is too short. If it was adjustable, I would adjust it. Now there's no rifle in here, so I'm going to grab this one next. You'll notice that also, for that height, I don't need a scope, because the scope isn't what determines your prone height. Your prone height is a horizontal rifle with bipods connected to you for a bridge. Length of pull is being able to manipulate the controls with your arm not having to come off the ground. So I'm gonna grab this gas gun. This is even slicker because it's got these rubber feet. This is already set to my anatomical neutral. To get into prone, I come up a little higher. I index, connect with the clavicle, and I drop down. Okay? Length of pull, this is a gas gun, so I don't need to run the bolt, but I can control all of the fire controls. I've got my bolt drop, my mag release, my the controls. This doesn't have auto, so it's safety and fire, but I am able to hold this position. I have a perfect sight picture. I'm looking straight through my optic. The muscles in my back are comfortable, and I'm not shoving it forward and losing control of the rifle. Actually, right now, I literally don't have any wobble at all. So if I was holding the fire controls and I was going to fire, there would be no wobble. But let's say that there was some wobble. My workspace is designed in a way where I don't have to do anything because I've already established the bridge, but I can work in this environment. I brought out rifle to target. I would have the bag in my workspace. I would point the rifle to the target. I'm going to pull it in so that I could bridge up. In the index, I've got my target over my turret. I'm dropping into my sight picture, and I could shoot if I want to. I'm on the fire controls. If there's wobble, I could hold it with this hand, or I could bring in a bag for support. On gas guns, I like to support the wobble on the gas tube. This isn't supporting my rifle, it's dampening the wobble. If something happens, I've still got control of the rifle, but I pull it in and I dampen the wobble. Bang, bang, bang. If I have to come out, I can. I've got control of the rifle with my body, and that's how the bridge manages recoil, manages wobble, and the bag is simply wobble control. It's not rifle support. Rifle support, every time you move it, you have to squeeze. It changes the density. It changes potential point of aim, point of impact. It changes the relationship of your anchor point on the buttstock, and it causes precision problems. So you come up, you bridge, drop down, get on target. If you need dampening, you dampen it, shoot, bang, bang, bang. You see what you had to see. I've still got control of the rifle. Bang, bang, bang. And then if I'm going to change targets, I lift up the front, reposition, and I shoot. I don't slide my body and torque the back. This, I have use of the fire controls, and my guess is if I do this, you can see here that my trigger finger is going here, but really I don't use the anatomical measurements for length of pull as much as I do, are my arms in 90, and can I hold whatever it is I'm going to hold? Do I have, my wrist isn't too bent, I've got dexterity, I've got the manual ability to operate the controls with my arm in neutral, and that provides me with the most functionality. And it just turns out that as a rule of thumb, it tends to be for most people from the crook of the elbow to a 90-degree trigger on the trigger. And this one, is set for that, for prone. And if I'm going to shoot positional, I'll probably put it forward a notch, which shortens the length of pull a little bit. But what that does is it allows me to get into that higher body angle. And in having that higher body angle, the 90-degree, your elbow drops and your other arm comes up to do whatever it's going to do. And it is a little past 90, at 90. So this is kind of a ideal position for a torso angle that's higher. I'm doing this because I'm pretending I'm up kneeling or standing against something. But nevertheless, the bridge, the fire control operations, and knowing that this is the baseline for your prone, you're going to have the most use of your body. With the most use of your body, you're going to function appropriately. You'll be able to think and see appropriately. You won't be forcing yourself to do things that later on give you a headache. That's my answer to some of the questions and criticisms. This is what I think is appropriate. You might have to get taller bipods. You don't have to get a new rifle. Taller bipods help. Getting a bag that is capable in this position of dampening wobble can help. But in this case, without wobble, I'd feel perfectly comfortable shooting prone without a bag, although I would probably brace this with my support hand so that it's on something and connected to the rifle system. Because I don't want somebody to take a shot and then have to squeeze the bag, come back, squeeze the bag, because you're changing the relationship every time. And with a good bridge and dampening wobble support, you should go or you could make other fancy noises, pew, 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 bang, whatever. But you shouldn't be doing all sorts of stuff between shots because your rifle's being held by something that's squishy. That's not really a recipe for accuracy, precision, and repeatability.